But let me tell you right now, before I go into this story, anybody, if you got a grandmother and a mama, an auntie, anybody who's older, please help them through their times. Now, this woman, she is in New York. She has a Brooklyn brownstone that she lost, and she's suing her lawyer and the refinance company. And here's my thing before I go into this story. You got to read your contracts, man. Your house, your home, your equity, the stuff that you put in to your whole life is so important. And I don't care if you hire a lawyer, please read your contracts yourselves. Refinance contracts, read them. Please read them. You can't claim racism. You can't even claim predatory. Everybody's predatory. The whole world is predatory. But I'm from the school of thought that ain't no love out here. You got to love yourself, and you got to have your loved ones, people who you know love you, on your side to make sure you're not entering into something that you shouldn't be. And if you do, you end up paying the cost. But let me go into this real quick.
One of the many Brooklyn neighborhoods where the effects of gentrification include both signs of pain and progress. We begin with the story of a Black Brooklyn senior, a developer who says she rode the wave of property flipping until a refinancing deal on this brownstone behind me went south. She's now on the outside looking in, evicted, and fighting to reclaim the property she alleges was taken from her through deed fraud.
This is my house, and it will always be my house.
69-year-old Vyra Jones, standing in front of the brownstone she purchased in 1996.
For less than $180,000.
A property she ultimately lost to foreclosure.
Let me go back in case you guys can hear that.
Standing in front of the brownstone she purchased in 1996.
For less than $180,000. This is my house, and it will always be my house.
69-year-old Vyra Jones, standing in front of the brownstone she purchased in 1996.
For less than $180,000.
A property she ultimately lost to foreclosure.
I was evicted May the 5th, 2025.
To hear Jones tell it, this ordeal began in 2019 when she got sick with what she believed to be COVID. So December 19, first payment was due.
Yeah.
Did you make that payment?
No, I wasn't, because I was sick.
By that time, Jones says she was already in the process of trying to refinance.
And got involved with these predatory lenders when I couldn't get a refinance from Chase Bank or Citibank.
Now in the midst of a heated legal battle to reclaim her brownstone, Jones blames two attorneys, including her own, for losing the property.
Let's take a look at this property. This is sad. She bought this brownstone in 1997. This is 130 Green Street in Clinton Hill. So this is this property right here. This is a nice brownstone. Right now it's worth about $3 million. She bought it for $180,000 in 1997. Okay, she says she's a seasoned real estate investor. Seasoned real estate developer means that she's been around the block before. She know what time it is, and she has other properties. How this property, again, she got older, she got sick, and she was in the process of refinancing, didn't make the payments. I guess the refinance company she was dealing with decided they were going to foreclose because she hadn't been paying the bill. This is a nice property, though. And I say all the time that when it comes to gentrification and stuff like that, gentrification only happens if the property's not kept up and there's property taxes owed or payments aren't made. And sometimes people are over leveraged because they've either refinanced and pulled money out one too many times or maybe have a reverse mortgage. This one is sad because I think that she's mad at her lawyer because she signed some paperwork in the refinance process. You can't just sign anything and then claim that you were, even the predatory lending thing. I know here's the thing about predatory lending. I think that yes, there are predatory terms when it comes to lending and credit cards, but you only have to take them when you're in a bad situation. It's like a loan shark, At the end of the day, like when you need money back in the day, when you needed money and, you would borrow money from like the mob or any other street people and, you needed some money, those are loan sharks and they would loan you money. They give you the money easy, but those terms are crazy. And, obviously with a loan shark, Back in the day, if you didn't pay, then Frankie Knuckles and Freddie No Nos will knock at your door and break your kneecaps or worse. What happens with a lot of these predatory lenders is that they're like loan sharks. They're like, cool, we're gonna lend you that money at some ridiculous rates or whatever the case is, and then they bank on you not paying attention. They bank on you slipping up and not making the payments because they get to foreclose on your home.
Were you notified about the foreclosure?
I was never notified there was any foreclosure.
A foreclosure, which Jones claims led to the fraudulent transfer of her deed to a new owner who purchased the brownstone at auction for a fraction of its worth.
Was worth $3.5 million.
Jones, who is a veteran real estate developer, says she's furious a new owner is now trying to flip her former home. It's now on the market, listed for just under $3 million. She says her former attorney, Yolanda Corrione, failed to warn her about the risk involved in signing 2 different loan documents, including a forbearance agreement.
My attorney didn't even inform me of anything that was going on.
Jones also claims in court documents the refinance lender and that firm's attorney did not have legal standing to claim ownership over the disputed brownstone.
This is a case of an older woman, and she says she's a veteran real estate developer and owner. I don't know if it's true, but that part is a little weird to me because I think you would know better. So when it comes to refinancing, obviously you're refinancing to get some new terms for your loan, right? So you can make smaller payments and maybe spread the terms out further, whatever you got to do. And then a forbearance, obviously, if you know anything about forbearance, when it comes to loans, forbearance is for you to, stop making payments for a certain amount of time. And basically they forbear you making the payments until you can make them again. Some forbearances are 3 months, 6 months, whatever. And whatever's in the term says, okay, you don't have to make payments for right now, but it's at said time, you got to start making payments again. If you don't make payments, at the end of the day, at the end of the road, for any of these situations, it's always like, if you don't make payments, we're going to take the property. And if you're the lender, you love it. Most lenders don't want to take the property. Let me say that. They don't really want to take the property, but in this situation, they would love to take the property because you're talking about a brownstone in Brooklyn. Whatever she owed on it, I don't know what she owed on it, but she probably didn't owe 300 million, 300. She probably didn't owe $3 million. She probably only owed whatever the case is, but wasn't able to make the payments. But they know what the property is actually worth.
Community Close-Up spoke with Jones's former attorney, Corrione, who told us via email, quote, I had a contingency agreement with Vira Jones. I would only get paid if 130 Green was saved from foreclosure. I received zero compensation for all the time and effort I put into delaying the foreclosure for an entire year and helping her apply for financing with several lenders. It makes absolutely no sense for me to collude with anyone to foreclose on 130 Green Avenue. Corrione, who says she is in the process of filing a defamation action against Jones, also forcefully denies any wrongdoing in regard to Jones signing that forbearance agreement. Quote, I did not advise her to sign this agreement. I reviewed the agreement with her and she told me she wanted to sign it. I was actually trying to stop Wayne Traub from foreclosing. Wayne Traub would not agree to stop the foreclosure and would only agree to forbear it instead.
So the lesson of the day is, you got to pay attention to what you're signing. So this is where he kind of asked her about her own accountability.
What do you say to the people who are going to listen to your story? They're going to say, you are a woman of means. You're a developer. You've owned several properties over the last few decades. You know the process. Yeah. And that you just kept on pulling money out of this to the point where you couldn't afford it. And the last refi failed.
Don't see you. It seemed like you were just making me the criminal, the person that created this.
No, not at all.
I have never had any problems with doing a refinance until I decided to go to these predatory lenders. Their program is called Loan to Own. I don't care if you pay them every month until you get ready to do a refinance. You're not getting your house back.
I'm conflicted with this story I'm not saying she's lying. I think that she is older. I don't necessarily think that she is a veteran real estate developer. She may have other properties. I really don't know. But what saddens me is that someone younger in her family, someone should have been kind of being by her side.